Welcome to So You. I'm Tim,
What's up? I'm Elle.
and today
Super excited.
we kind of realized that not only do we listen to old albums that we love, but so do you.
What?
I don't actually know if you do, but that's what it's about. So you
Hopefully.
listen to old albums instead of new stuff. Maybe you do both at the same time, but I find myself diving into
I try.
older stuff.
Yeah.
No, I
just going back.
try and keep up, but like I feel like on my daily stuff, it's kind of easier to go to familiar.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Be in the car for like 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna throw on what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we dive in,
Of course.
I had a thought.
What was Tim's thought today?
I had a thought. So it's a thought that I've had a lot. I don't know if I've ever actually shared it with you. I know I've shared it with Brenna and tons of other people. So we did mention that we were going to bring out the French press last week or whatever. And we did.
We sure did, and it's incredible. If you don't do your coffee like this, you definitely should start.
Right.
Not a sponsor, but
I'm not a sponsor of generic French press. No, but the only reason why I mention that is because, listen, I live a perfect life.
sure, right. Totally.
Let me rephrase. I live life perfectly.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
I
like that better.
Yeah.
It sounds less douchey that way.
Wait, it sounds borderline more douchey, but thank you. I'm kidding. I don't think I have like the secrets to the world, but I will say that I think there are a few things that the world needs to get better at. Here are the few things. Really, it's two things.
Okay, I have my notepad out.
Yeah. When you order coffee, you shouldn't have to specify anything if you want it black. You should just be, hey, I want a coffee. And unless you add things,
That's
it comes
when
black.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think if you order tea, you shouldn't have to specify that it's unsweet. Here's why.
Okay.
Coffee
Yes.
is black coffee.
Inherently, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes.
If I say coffee,
It's just black
your
coffee.
thought should be, right, the beans that you brew. And then that's it. If you want to add cream and sugar, you say coffee with cream and sugar. But I have to find myself specifying. I can't just go up and be like, hey, I want a coffee, medium. They'll be like, you want like cream or sugar? It's like,
No.
did I
didn't ask for cream or sugar.
Did I add cream and sugar to that? Like
Because you're part of the 1% that just wants actual black coffee.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I understand.
I'm sorry.
I understand a lot of people like to make their adjustments, but yeah, man.
As I pour another cup.
Yeah. I understand people want to make their adjustments, but like that's your adjustments. All right. Don't ruin my ordering experience because you like cream and sugar in your coffee. And tea's the same thing. Tea is it's inherently unsweet. And I understand sweet tea is like
okay.
I understand like
So
it's a big deal. Listen, I'm from the South. I get it. I drink sweet tea. Oh, I used to.
Yeah.
But if I order tea, the question that follows is unsweet or sweet. Tea. I want the tea version, not the sweet one. I just want the tea.
What inherently comes in its original form.
That's what tea is.
I have an aside to this tea conversation.
Okay.
Just want to take you off your box for a second.
Take it off. Take me off it. Get this.
I just want to give you a shout out to those people that say chai tea. Fun fact, you're saying tea because chai is tea. So when you go up to Starbucks or you go wherever you go to get your chai latte and you say, can I get a chai tea latte? Can I get a tea latte?
Right.
Can I get a coffee latte?
You're so redundant.
Chai latte.
Yeah.
Just chai latte.
Right.
Okay.
And she has authority, by the way.
I do. I am Indian.
Yeah.
Where are you from? No, but
Yeah. How do you say your name?
Too many times.
Too many times, man.
But yeah, so chai latte.
Chai
Tea
latte.
is inherently unsweet, and coffee is inherently black.
Yeah, if you make any changes, that's when.
That's when you. No, you know what? Okay, I will give you that one. I'll give you that one today.
I know it sounds like nitpicky.
I'll give you that one though.
And I started it with like a very like I'm the right one. By the way, I don't like apologizing for my jokes and banter. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry. What I'm saying is like it's a joke and it's a banter, guys. I'm not actually this like pious. I don't actually like from all the
To clarify.
from all the collective episodes. I don't actually believe I'm the like somehow like the all-seeing one. I'm just making jokes. I just think this would be a funny thing to say. Although
Kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to keep on clarifying. I understand that like sometimes I come off as like a dick who's like, oh yeah, I'm the right one. You should only have to say I want coffee and it comes black unless you add it. That would be great if I didn't have to spend my time at 2 seconds specifying that it has to be just coffee by its fucking lonesome. But you know, it happens.
It does. You're right.
That's it,
Hey,
though.
that
That's
was a good one.
my thoughts.
That was a good
My
thought.
thought is short today. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
very short
interject
today.
with that, but we do have
Hey.
a lot to talk about.
We do.
We have.
Let's see where this conversation takes us.
Yeah. So the way we're kind of setting this up is we're going to go over kind of our top 3. Not, at least I didn't think about it this way. I didn't think about it in the way of like, what are the top 3 albums I listen to the most? I thought of it as like, what 3 are my absolute favorites? And just because something is my favorite doesn't mean I like religiously listen to it over
yeah.
and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of the
computer.
thought process here.
Yeah.
Mine was
No,
just like my top 3 are gonna be kind of the ones that maybe had some impact in my life in some way or something like that. And we'll kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
So sound good to you?
I'm good with that.
I'm gonna start with
start it
my
off?
first album.
Oh, also, I want to clarify. My top, they're not like, I wasn't like, am I number 1? I just was
Right.
like,
You just kind of put like
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
I just want to, yeah.
Yeah. And honorable mentions will kind of happen.
Definitely will
Throughout.
happen. Yeah.
And I'm actually going to start with one as well. So
Oh, okay.
one of my top 3 albums is the Marshall Mathers LP.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
No, you talked about it in such a high regard.
Okay.
Okay.
And my
go on.
honorable mention is the Slim Shady LP. This was a very hard decision.
Okay.
They're almost even. I almost just made it like, but I couldn't give 2.
You couldn't.
I couldn't
I
give
know.
2 of the spots away to like
One.
the first. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I
can
just
slide that
didn't
in
want
there.
to. I
No,
could have,
fair.
but I didn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, no rules.
Pretty much, if the Marshall Mathers LP had the song "Just Don't Give a Fuck" on it, then it's a complete album. Like, because I don't know if M actually. I can call you M, right? He's listening. I don't know if like.
Add them to the list of
Yeah,
celebrities that are listening to this.
yeah. I don't know if Marshall Mathers, if he, Eminem, if he get it, because Marshall Mathers is Eminem is
Yeah.
his initials.
Okay.
I don't know if he like on Just Don't Give a Fuck.
That's
If
clever.
he, I know he like wrote like the loop in the chorus. Like I
Mhm.
get that. I know he pinned that, but I wonder if he pinned his other 16s because it sounds. By the way, if you're not,
You haven't caught on yet.
if you're not educated in hip hop, 16s are what they call their rhymes.
Because of the beat structure,
Yeah,
to clarify.
yeah.
Okay, so continue on, Tim.
We clearly watch documentaries.
I produced Beast once.
Right. So I don't know if he in that song Just Don't Give a Fuck. I don't know if he like penned the bars, but like because it doesn't sound like he did. It sounds very freestyle, and it might just be like the style he was kind of going in at it. But it's incredible either way, right? Because like it intros and it has like think of like the old the old like announcers at like clubs, kind of when underground hip hop started, you know, and they're like announcing like who's coming up, and it's very flashy and showmanship. And then he comes in, and he's like, he says his name, and he's like Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady, and then he just kind of goes in, and that like this tempo is like Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady. I'm an M80. You're little like that Kim lady. Like that's the way he delivers, and I'm like, this doesn't sound pinned. It sounds like he's like kind of freestyling in a way, and I just
wonder.
So I don't know if he. I don't know if he free. That's on the Slim Shady LP. The Slim Shady LP is incredible. I mean, it's Guilty Conscious, My Name, you know, all the hits.
all the hits.
But the Marshall Mathers LP, man, it has Stan. It has Real Slim Shady. It has so many good songs. And Stan, by the way, Rolling Stones deemed it in the top 100 best songs ever made.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's not like low
no,
on the list.
It's high
like
up
it's
there?
not like it's not like 98 where they're like, we'll give one to Eminem. It's up there.
It's up there.
Like it's
people were like, yes,
way up
we
there.
want this. Yeah.
like,
okay.
And they're like, this is one of the best songs ever made.
Wow. All
so,
right.
You know, just saying, M's got bars.
M's got all the bars.
No, and I think something else is like, I know a lot of people are like, I know someone the other day was like, told me, they were like, I feel like Eminem's just like shitting on people to stay relevant. And it's like, have you followed his career? Literally.
That's not the case.
What I'm saying is like, if you listen to those first two LPs or his first two albums, essentially, he's like, he shits on Vanilla Ice like 20,000 times. And of course it's the 90s, so that's like a relevant diss. And he's like, you know what I mean? He's like throwing shaded. Literally, he threw shaded. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, that was their time for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
isn't that like kind of the basis of hip hop though? Right?
It is. And but especially for Eminem.
I don't really see that nowadays, I feel like. Yeah.
Especially for Eminem, it's like, what do you mean he's just shitting on people to stay relevant? That is what he is. Mm-hmm. That's his music. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like, why? Listen, like, everyone loves Recovery. It's a good album. Like, I get it. Like, I'm glad he made Recovery because it clearly showed him as a person getting over something. And he has a lot of good music on that album. There's no diss to that album. But I personally, it's not even. I enjoy when M is just going in at someone or just making fun of people because that's what he likes to do. Clearly, he wouldn't keep doing it if that wasn't like just something he enjoyed doing. Yeah. Let me put on the headphones. No. I'm pissed off at someone and I'm about to fucking rip it. Like, and he does. So it's like, if you think he's doing it to stay relevant, he's not. He's just doing it because
that's just how he is.
He's even said he wants, like, if you're not trying to be the best MC, like, you're not rapping. And I agree. If you don't come in every track thinking, even if it's a fucking collaborative, if you don't come in trying to outpace that other person, what are you doing?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Why are you out here?
So that's my first one and my honorable mention.
Yeah, that's a 2-for-1 on that one. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Doubleheader. So I'll start out with, I noticed that most of these picks, so they come in just a certain time in my life.
Right.
So it's early 20s coming in. So, or maybe early teens. So,
angst?
Maybe.
Right.
But I don't know. Pretty good choices for angst, maybe. We'll see. I guess we'll decide, won't we? So my first one is Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
Damn, you and your feels.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
Yeah.
But holy shit, what an album.
Right.
So I'm just this track list. So you have Thinking About You, Sweet Life, Super Rich Kids, featuring Earl Sweatshirt, by the way. Crack Rock, Pyramids, Forrest Gump, Pink Map, the whole thing. The whole entire thing is so good, right?
Especially when, and that's another thing. Especially when you like one thing when you look at the albums. I didn't even like mark the list down. I'm not gonna remember every song, but when you put these albums down, and you kind of look back over, the moment you look at the track list, you're like, oh yeah, this is why. Because when you listen to it so much, it's like every
It just molds together.
Every track just is
Yeah.
a banger.
Yes,
Like one after
exactly.
the other, and they all become bangers in their own time.
Right.
So it's kind of incredible.
But this one,
Yeah.
oof. I have very strong memories of Super Rich Kids
Yeah.
hanging out by a fire with my friends in college.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
leave it at that. Yeah, there's just strong memories related to this album, but besides that, musically and lyrically, it's beautiful.
I get that. That's it, man.
That's
And
it, and that's
feels
all you have. Yeah,
connected emotionally with
yeah,
it.
that's it.
For sure. Some of my honorable mentions are definitely like college period.
Oh, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
just maybe it's just part of your growing time.
For sure.
One of my favorite tracks on this album is Pyramids. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
9-minute song,
Oh, yeah.
but it's worth every minute of it.
He really. I've heard
Oh.
he really struggles with releasing his music because he's such a like perfectionist,
Yeah,
and not even in like an asshole way.
No.
It's just like on himself.
right.
Like
It's like he's too
like,
hard
he's
on himself.
very
Yeah.
hard on himself. So I mean, when he does come out with something, that's an artist. Like you
Mhm.
really are kind of hearing someone who maybe he doesn't even fully get to the point where he's like, this is worthy, but you're definitely at least hearing something from him that he's just put his heart and soul into.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. With him,
he's always incredible.
equality
It's
over
su-
quantity.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
super emotional all
Mhm.
the time.
all the time, and it's like you said, like you don't get a lot of it, but when you do get his music, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
just that. But yeah,
Absolutely.
nothing too major to say about that though. But I just want to know
All right. Second one.
what you got.
It's the first album I ever bought.
Oh, okay.
First album I ever bought.
Okay.
Songs About Jane by Maroon 5.
Yes, this is on my. This is like on my would be top 3, but it's
Right.
up there. That's on my honorable mentions
Right.
list. Yeah, we can talk about this for a second.
I feel like a lot
Yes.
of people love Songs About Jane.
It's a.
Um,
If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it right now. Pause this
Right.
and go listen to it right now.
right. And then come back immediately.
Immediately. It's their first studio album.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe before they were Maroon 5, I can't remember like the full band's history. They were like known as something else, and they were like a 3-person band or something like that. And then they just found a couple different musicians. They kind of
Added all the instruments together.
went together,
Yeah.
and then creatively they all got on this page, and bam, Maroon 5 is born. First studio album, Songs About Jane. It's just incredible. I mean, it's an easy
Top
listen.
to bottom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an easy
no
listen.
skippables.
There's some jazzy
Mhm.
tracks in there. I think, and it's funny because when "Harder to Breathe" is the first.
It's their first. Yeah, it's a
It's the
single
first.
off of
It's
that.
the
Mhm.
first. Yeah. Along with many others.
Yes.
This Love and She Will Be Loved and
Sunday Morning.
Morning,
Mhm.
like all same album, by the way, guys.
Yeah, that's this album that we're talking
spanned,
about right now.
Oh, that
Yeah.
that all of those singles spanned over like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Same album.
The videos that you were watching on TRL Countdown,
Same
same
album. And so when I was kind of looking back over that, Harder to Breathe comes on, and I think Harder to Breathe it sounds like their hardest, like kind of rocky, kind of punkish song.
Yeah.
But then when you really listen to the instruments in it, it's still it almost feels like out of tune when you just kind of, aren't listening and you're just kind of hearing. But when you really
Yes, I like
listen,
that. Mhm.
when you really listen, like that album has a really good like structure, like sound wise. It's very like everything. It sounds cohesive. You hear a song and you're like, okay, that's from Songs About Jane.
Mhm.
Even like Maroon 5 has 6 albums in total. 6 albums in total. I know. And they definitely have some tracks that, kind of can transfer from one album to the next. And I think if you look at their like discography, it can get a little muddled in their like middle 2 or 3. You don't know if it's like Hands All Over or if
Yes.
it's
You don't know what the direction is
yeah,
going,
or
yeah.
if it's overexposed, if those albums kind of blend. Not that they're not, good listens. It's just like, theme wise, it all feels the same. But with Songs About Jane, it is. I mean, like I said, it has like these jazzy notes, and I mean, even the harder songs kind of have that like jazzy feel to it, and it's just a good album, man.
Yeah,
Like-
even the slower songs have such a good pace to them, such a good
Yeah.
beat to them that you're just
Right.
like, this is a bop, but I should be sad
Right.
now. But this is great.
It's kind of crazy because you listen to all like the main singles from it, and of course you can always listen to those, but then you really get into it, and I don't know, man. I mentioned it where like the songs kind of turn into bangers over time because you've
Right.
listened to the album so long.
Yeah.
And after a while, they not only become bangers, they become the ones you want to hear more.
Right.
Like I don't go to Songs About Jane to listen to Sunday Morning.
No.
Great song, but I go to listen to like The Sun.
Yes.
It's like middle. It was like a middle track of theirs in that one. So it's like, I don't know. You just kind of find
you find the bangers in between.
Right.
Which this is gonna be aside for a second because you bring up. I used to be one of those. Oh, you just listen to the single and then like that's it.
That's actually that's almost music in a nutshell now.
Right. And very rarely do people now actually go back and listen to full albums. And it's like, if you like the single, chances are you're going to like the rest of it.
Right. And if you don't,
that's
cool.
fine too. Most of the time, the singles that are put out are not the songs that you like, ever. It's like we just said with 5 Songs About Jane. But yeah, I just think it's again, that's originally how I started out when I was listening to music. Be like, oh, I like these like 2 or 3 songs.
Right.
And then now it's like, oh, I've discovered this person who maybe they've been out for a while or maybe they are just up and coming. I hear a song I like. I'm like, okay, like let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see what their songs are. See if I like them or not.
And that's apparently like, that's a thing that we kind of have been in an age where music's just accessible. And in a way, that's why it's like all about singles. It's because you're kind of listening to playlists, and then you're moving on.
Right.
Back in the day, man, you used to, like I said, it's the first album I bought, and at the time, I was, it's all like CDs and radio. And so when I listened to the CDs, I would just listen to them. I mean, there was no way around it. I didn't have Spotify and all that stuff, and it's just one of those things where it's like you kind of had to, and that's kind of an old school thing, man. I mean, people used to just buy tapes and they would just listen to tapes. They didn't have an option. They couldn't just go So you would start to like the songs on the albums, even if they weren't like the big ones that it was known for. It was just because you listen to them so much. It's just like, oh yeah, this is good. I can jam to this, and you just start jamming.
I wonder if the surge in, because we're millennials, I wonder if the surge in vinyls has really kind of made an impact on that in a little way.
I think
because artists are releasing their new albums.
Well, I think a lot of people do what you do. I know I do. Where when you hear one, maybe you listen to like the Spotify list where they're like, yeah, these are for you. Mm-hmm. And then when you hear one, you're like, oh, I don't know this artist. And so you'll kind of go check them out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. I do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's a good, I think that's good assessment. I think when you buy a vinyl, you're listening to it. You're kind of just putting it on, and you're going to have to deal with the good and the bad, and ultimately the bad will probably turn into good after a bit.
Just make a pretty enough vinyl.
Right.
Just keep staring at it while it plays.
Okay. What's your next one?
My next one is Anti by Miss Rihanna.
Good old Riri.
Robin Rihanna Fenty.
First of all,
okay, yeah.
I just want to appreciate the fact that our top are completely different.
Yeah.
But we both listen to the artist.
Listen,
Rihanna.
Good music knows no bounds. So, I think not that I know everything and anything about the music industry first and foremost, but from what I understand, I mean, when you get signed to a deal, chances are you have to make a certain amount of albums out of that, right? For the record. So I'm not sure if this was the first one that she made after she made her, X amount of albums that she needed to, or if this was the last album anyways, regardless.
Before
This-
she got out
yeah,
from underneath the
yeah,
chains.
the grips. Yeah. But it top to bottom, again, no skippables. It is an album that you can tell it's the music that she wanted to make.
Right. It's like the
There's-
Lemonade.
Yes, no, and that's an honorable mention. We'll talk about that later. But it's the music that she wanted to make. There's different sounds on there. There's the poppy Rihanna that
Right.
you're, but then there's soulful blues. You know, there's some like it's just a whole bunch of. It's like a
Right.
music medley, but in a good way.
Right. It's like Kesha's resurgence. I'm seriously.
Yeah,
Did you listen to that?
I was about to say if you guys should actually. At first I brushed it off like, oh, Kesha.
No,
but
when
it's actually
when
really
she
fucking
got
good.
out of that
Horrible,
that
yeah,
shitty
shitty- yeah.
situation. I mean, she literally went into the studio making music that she wanted to make.
And you can tell the difference.
And you can see, you
can
can
tell
hear
such a
the
difference in
difference.
that.
I mean, she's having fun. She's making, badass music. That's always good. I'm glad that you like that
always good.
album because, like, Rihanna kind of showed a different side.
Yeah, all the way through. And then another aside, I had the ability to go see this concert, this album in concert, and men, women, kids, whatever, people just felt empowered after the entire thing. People felt good leaving.
Fuck yeah.
It was a great energy. Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
when you can have that and relay that, I think you've done a great job. And again,
Inspired music, man.
yeah, you love it. You
Yeah.
love to see it. You
I think
really
that-
love to see it.
And you know what? That's why I like harp on that's why I harp on shitty music so much. Not even shitty. I say shitty. That's why I harp on
Yes.
like I don't know,
What
some
are you
of that
supporting?
just like major mainstream stuff, and it's like there's no fucking passion behind this, man. It's just repetitive nonsense, and I get that it sounds aesthetically pleasing. I understand like the C note is a great note. I get that like the same like rhythm is incredible. Like I understand that like yes,
Yeah.
those songs I could bop to. I can
bop,
dance.
yeah,
I can
yep.
I can shimmy my hips. That's fine. But when it's not like, and that stuff has its time and place, but
Absolutely.
like when it's not, it's played too often. It's become too much of a thing people want to hear all the time.
Right.
It's just not worth it, man.
No.
I want to hear like again. Bo Burnham in his like last special, he mentioned like he kind of makes a note where it's like, people shit on country music because of whatever, like they shit on the lyrics or whatever, and it's like he makes a point where it's like as long as it's passionate, it works. Like if you listen to even if
Anything.
like a passionate song, passionate music has no like bounds by genre.
No. Yeah.
It can be a country song, and as long as it's like genuine and the artist is genuine, it will sound good. You'll
Absolutely.
enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got this fuckboy standing up talking about
Bro country going on.
fucking Bud Lights and it just sounds
Tailgates
it sounds
and it
bad.
sounds
It sounds generic. It sounds shitty.
Sounds like it's.
And I don't
radio.
understand how there's this huge margin of people that like I can literally be like, yeah, pop music blows dick, and they'll be like, yeah, absolutely. But somehow it's still the most listened to thing.
Yeah.
Quit targeting the young ones.
Quit
Pop
targeting
industry.
The youth.
Seriously, man. Also, teenagers, it's not about you. Your life is not developed enough for any of that to actually mean anything to you. And then the moment you do live your life long enough, you'll look back on those pop songs and be like,
Like, why did I
that is
listen to
not
that?
even close to how life works.
No. But yeah,
But
World
yeah,
Tour.
go Riri.
She killed it. Crushed it.
Third one,
What's yours? What you got?
Incredibad by The Lonely Island.
Wow.
Yep.
That is the wild card. I did not see that coming.
Yep.
Hey,
Listen, a lot of
I
people.
love some Andy.
That's the thing, though, is people. I love like comedy music. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it. Love it. I play The Lonely Island, Ninja Sex Party. I mean, Fly the Conchords is incredible.
Yes.
I listen to that genuinely. Like, there's nothing ironic about when I listen to the album Incredibad by the way. There's nothing when I actually jam it like it's a normal fucking album. I've heard the
Rightfully
songs a million
so.
times over. There's no surprises. I'm not laughing at the lyrics for the first time anymore.
Right.
So for me to still listen to it with pure enjoyment is a testament
It is.
to how well they make music. Incredible.
It's pretty solid,
incredible.
honestly. It's There's the door, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's my door? I need to leave.
No, it actually is. I saw them this past summer, actually. They were pretty fun.
They're incredible.
It was actually pretty fun.
They're
and
incredible.
Good. You wouldn't think it. You'd be like, oh, these guys. But they were actually fun.
They when you just listen to, first of all, the album it's amazing. I mean, if you just put on the album, I mean, there's the, Jizz in My Pants and I'm on a Boat and like
we like sports.
Everyone knows that we like sports. But then like they'll just come in, you'll listen to the deep tracks and they just come in and like, I'll punch you in your jeans. I'll punch you in your jeans. And you're like, what are we doing?
And then you start saying them at people.
Yeah.
Punch you in your jeans.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole album, again, I listen to like comedy music very genuinely.
Right.
It's a genre that I absolutely like. I love it. And I mean, I love listening to it and, memorizing lyrics and using all the quips and all that stuff. It's what an incredible. They got Natalie Portman on there.
Yes.
Like they re-collaborated with her and made the Natalie Rap 2, and
Yes.
it's incredible.
Which
and
is
they like
also a great
they kind
story,
of
by the way.
yeah,
In
and
the
they
beginning,
the second one kind of bites from Cardi B's like music and stuff. It's amazing. So
That's awesome.
go listen to that if you want some enjoyment. But no, they're
Okay.
great, and
Yeah.
I picked their first album because I like Turtlenecks and Chains, which is their second album. And honestly, their third album I don't know very well. I've listened to it a few times, and it's not that it's bad. It's just, I mean, I feel like at that point Andy Samberg was doing a lot of movies, and they were all
Brooklyn
they were
Nine-Nine.
super busy. It
Yeah,
felt like, and so the
sure.
music didn't feel as inspired. And a lot like, I don't know, it just didn't feel as inspired. But their first one, it's just, I don't know, that's just comedy gold. It's just pure comedy gold. I will say the one line that I bring through all of them is the songs with Justin Timberlake, because
Yes.
Justin Timberlake, which I'm sure Brenna would be surprised I didn't put one of his albums in my top 3.
I was actually, he is on my,
Here's
We'll get
the
to him in a
thing.
second.
Justin Timberlake is one of my favorite artists of all time.
Okay. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I have a poster of him framed.
It's a sign.
Yeah, Justin, if you're listening to this, I love you, bud.
Listen, he's right around the corner.
I love you, man.
He lives in Tennessee too, apparently.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's from Tennessee, so JT and
Fun
the Tennessee
fact,
Kids.
I know you guys forget that, but he is one of ours.
So
Also,
Justin,
Usher.
yeah. So since JT's song, but them, he has one each album, and they're kind of in the same story. So they're kind of in the same like, they're like continuations essentially, because the videos also like coincide with the same 2 characters they play.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. So you can listen to all 3 of those back to back, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no,
Incredible.
it's really good. And since I'm talking about JT, honorable mention 2020,
That's on my
the complete edition,
Again, whole thing.
whole thing.
It doesn't
Guys,
need to
it's
be.
like 20 songs, and they're every
It's
single
incredible.
one of them is a banger.
Every single, yeah.
single one of them.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
what's your last of the top 3 before we just start bombing them with honorable mentions?
so I did the thing that you did because I honestly couldn't just okay. Preface this: the last one that I threw in there honestly could have been a few more that could have been
Right.
this next one. Now I double dipped,
Oh, okay.
but it is the same artist. So I have Good Kid, Mad City,
Right.
and then Damn.
Okay. I have To Pimp a Butterfly on my honorable mention.
This is fantastic. Okay, so we are Kendrick Lamar fans over here. Clearly,
Yeah, we talk about
We
Kendrick.
we can honestly
all
talk
the
about all
time.
3 of those if you want. Yeah, we can just group them all together. Oh, because they all. I mean,
Kendrick's discography.
that's the whole. I was about to say we that's pretty much what just happened here. Yeah.
His Untitled,
I love it.
Untitled
fuck,
LP,
yeah.
like all that stuff.
all of it. There's a lot to say, but there isn't really much to say about it.
I mean, it's Kendrick, man.
It's
The guy won a fucking Pulitzer.
also he won a fucking
On To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yes.
He's the only
He's-
rap
I was
artist to
gonna
ever
say,
do
yeah,
that.
he's the only one. Just let
Why
that
are
sink
you
in
Why
for
are
a
you
second.
listening to anyone else
Just let that sink in for
except
a
for
second.
Eminem? He's great.
Okay. Alright.
No,
Okay.
he's not. He's not. I'm not gonna like compare the two.
No, right.
There's no reason.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
just.
then,
They're
yeah.
not the same artist. I don't listen to Eminem the same way I listen to Kendrick.
Right, exactly. And that's fair to say for most of these.
Yeah.
Across the board,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Don't listen. Stop. Don't listen to music like all music is the same. Don't watch movies like all movies are the same.
No.
Don't
You're gonna
play
be disappointed.
games like you're gonna be really disappointed.
So
Read books.
Kendrick Lamar is our third choice.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. So we cheated, and Kendrick Lamar is just our third choice.
Right.
I don't have any favorite tracks because all of them are
He
favorite
won a
tracks.
Pulitzer. That's my favorite track.
And he also, side note, sprinkle this on top. He also produced the Black Panther soundtrack,
Yeah,
which I will just put that
Yeah.
on because
it's
it's a great soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
just a great album, not even counting a soundtrack. It's fucking
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
no, it's good.
Kendrick
Seriously.
Lamar, aka, but yeah,
No, yeah,
So-
he's incredible. I think the reason why I put To Pimp a Butterfly on there is just because I think thematically it's my favorite of his.
sure. No, I get
It's
that.
very jazzy.
Yeah,
I love jazz music.
yeah.
I really do. Like that's a note of mine. I genuinely enjoy like jazz. Even without like even if it's not lyrical and it's just musicians
Just
going in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Seriously, give me some
No,
sax.
have you heard John H. Benjamin's jazz album?
I didn't know he had it.
That's
What?
an honorable mention.
What is that? Is he?
Brenna showed me John H. Benjamin's jazz album.
I know
He's not a musician.
No, by the way, this is we've talked about him now more times.
Yeah, he's Bob and
Bob
Archer.
Burger.
and
Yeah,
he
he's
does the Arby's
Arby's.
commercials now. He's great. He's an incredible voice actor. Fucking hilarious actor in general.
yeah.
He decided that he wanted to do a blues album
Okay.
with no previous musical experience.
You have my attention.
And it's amazing. And he plays the piano.
Oh fuck! No way.
And so he has a fully equipped and like totally, capable. These guys are incredible jazz musicians,
All right.
and they're just going in. And if you don't know anything about jazz they play off of each other. Like the musicians play off of each other, and
Yeah.
so you'll hear different like solos, and the solos will then turn into two musicians going back and forth,
Yes.
and then one will drift off and and that's kind of what makes jazz so great to listen to.
Mhm.
It's because you're just kind of hearing people go in, and a lot of the times they're just kind of improvising it and kind of feeling the music, and it's
So
incredible.
cool. It's so cool to see.
So John decided to do that, but with no experience,
That's awesome.
and so he's playing the piano, and he's like doing jazz shout outs and stuff, and it's
What?
amazing. Just seriously,
I wanna-
it's
yeah.
on Spotify. Go listen
I'm
to
about
it.
to go listen to that.
But
That's fucking funny.
like I was saying, To Pimp a Butterfly, the reason why it's my favorite Kendrick album is just thematically,
Thematically, yeah.
it is, and it's incredible. I mean, fuck.
You can just see the progression throughout.
Yeah, and
These
he has
last
like
30.
the poem going on at the end of each track in that album,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps on like building every few tracks, and
Yeah.
you
It's fun.
what's
Kung Fu Kenny.
what's the is it For Free? I think is an early track. It's right before King Kunta. And that's a pure like jazz freestyle that he does. It's just literally jazz music, and he's just like, I mean, he's going in. And Kendrick has a lot of different techniques that he uses. He'll use alliteration a lot, and he'll also use punchy like P's and B sounds. And so when he'll put like a bunch of words together that make the same sound, and so even if they're not rhyming, it sounds so good. It's the same thing that Logic does. Logic has a very bubbly and like poppy flow. And I don't mean poppy in the sense of like he makes pop music. I mean like in the way he speaks is very like has like a lot of pop in it.
Yeah, when he hits the beat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
It's very which is why I like Logic as well. And it's not because of it. Like
There's a transition there.
no,
Yeah.
it's literally. I mean, I actually didn't even put Logic down. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Logic, but I didn't put any of the albums down as honorable mentions either.
Fair enough.
and it's nothing against him. I just don't think I've listened to Logic long enough for me to really like be like,
Same.
yeah, I'm gonna
I
listen
don't-
to
yeah.
him like 10 years down the line. Honestly, I'll probably listen to him 10 years down the line. He's got some hits. So,
He does. He has some bangers on there.
but yeah, overall Kendrick, man, I think Damn is great. But why did you pick Damn over To Pimp a Butterfly? Good Kid, Mad City, I get. I do. I get that one. Not that Damn's any worse.
I don't know. Pimp a Butterfly was good. I just didn't listen to it as much as Damn.
Right.
I don't know. And maybe it's just because I think if you think about it, Damn and Good Kid, Mad City, very similar.
They are. Yeah.
And then
Damn
To Pimp is the outlier between the three of them.
Yeah. Damn is super creative because it does tell a story. It tells
Apparently, either way you listen to it.
Yeah, it tells a story. And if you read the actual titles, DNA is about having pride and confidence in who you are. Lust is about spending too much time lusting over the right. I mean, thank you for pulling that up.
Yeah.
Element obviously is about, I mean, he says it in the lyric. He's like, can't take me out of my element. It's all about, doing what you do and doing it well. What's the next one there? It was like Feel. I mean, they're all, if you literally read the titles, it's loyalty. It's literally about, it's literally about what the title is. And like Lust is about not being lustful over pointless things. Love is about, it's about his, I don't know if they're married.
I have no idea if they
but
are or
about
not, but
the woman he's been with literally before he blew up.
Yes.
And so it's
We
about
love stories
her,
like that,
and it's
yeah.
like, and
There's
then
a song with you too, for Pete's sake.
and then if you play it backwards, it's about someone who loses all of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's fucking dope, man.
it's just good.
It's so fucking
he released
good.
he released a Damn limited edition, and it was in reverse, so you could literally you didn't have to press it. You could just start it, and it was just the track numbers backwards, and so you could just play it in reverse. So you could listen to Damn, just the regular album, and then you could listen to the limited edition, and it would play it.
Yeah.
And it would play it the backwards way.
So good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So he's amazing.
So we love Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking great.
So
Live also.
we're about to start
I was gonna
dropping.
say we're about to rapid fire and just kind of go.
We're about to just drop it. Night Visions, Imagine Dragons' first album.
That's gonna be on you. I had no idea.
Yeah. I like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
I think they're one of the biggest bands in the world. Actually, though, they are. Every time they drop an album on like the Spotify top listens,
Shoots
they
up, right?
literally shoot up to like the top 10 most listened artists in the world at every time they drop an album.
I had no idea.
And no matter what you think about their like last two, which they're good. They have they're not as good as their first two, but they're decent enough. Night Visions was their first album, which was followed after like an EP drop, and some of the EP transferred to the album, and it's incredible. Every song is amazing. You don't have to skip anything. You just literally press play and listen to it. It's a really good album. You'll enjoy it.
That's it.
It's Imagine Dragons being Imagine Dragons, and I think especially when they came out like in 2012, they were definitely something that was like, these are weird
what is
songs,
this?
man.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's kind of cool.
No, yeah, they're really good.
They're part of that early wave that kind of started the mix of instrument and
Do you have Phoenix pulled up?
yeah, I do.
Drop your next.
So the next one is Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix
Fucking incredible album.
by Phoenix. It's only 36 minutes, and it's 36 minutes of just like pure bliss.
Guys, if you don't listen to Phoenix,
That's another one you should stop and go listen to right now.
Listen to Phoenix in general, man.
Only 36 minutes. Yeah,
Phoenix
they're
is amazing.
fucking great.
They also made a Christmas song with Bill Murray's. Remember a couple years back when Bill Murray made like his Netflix Christmas special?
Yeah.
And it was like a callback to the old Christmas specials they
Yes.
used to run.
Okay.
Phoenix made a song, and they're in that like show,
Oh,
and
that's fucking
it's
cool.
on my Christmas
I had
playlist
no
because
idea.
it's amazing.
That's great. No, of
'Cause
course.
Phoenix is amazing.
I'm sure. Yeah. It's if you like some guitars.
And at the end,
Oof.
Bill Murray's like, "Man, one day you guys are going to be big." Because in the show, they're like catering chefs or whatever, and he's like, "One day you guys are going to be big." And it's like a little goof because Phoenix is huge.
It's huge.
Even if you don't know who Phoenix is, I guarantee you listen
know
to
the
that
songs.
album, you'll
Yeah.
know the songs.
And that's the thing about this album. Like people have heard these songs
Yes.
before, and they
yeah,
just don't
1901. Everyone's heard. Everyone's heard
Fences.
1901.
Like
Ballin', ballin'.
like you know these songs.
Yeah.
You all know these songs. You
Yeah.
just didn't realize that it came from this one
Yeah.
Phoenix album. Very songs about Jane, right? All these good songs you like that are
Yeah.
on this album. Yeah.
Meteora, Linkin Park.
Oh,
Yep.
rip.
So, yeah, rest in peace, Chester. I went back and forth whether to go Hybrid Theory or Meteora.
Okay,
Hybrid Theory is
why?
their first one.
Okay.
I think most people like Hybrid Theory more. I don't even think I know. So, Linkin Park's first two albums were nu metal. Nu metal was out of style by the time Meteora came out. Well, it was on its way out. It was very like, people were kind of like, yeah, we get it. Metal sounds, rock music, and rappers. Like, we got it.
Right.
But I still think Meteora has hits, man. Like, and that's what I guess I mean by like, I get like genres go in and out, and it's a bummer that, which Meteora was successful. I'm not trying to play like what Numb was on that album.
Okay,
And Numb was
alright.
huge.
Yeah.
So I'm
huge
not
song.
like,
I still play it.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm not like Meteora did just fine, but it didn't do as well as Hybrid Theory, and it was because of that transition out of that world.
Right.
Which is kind of a bummer. I think like if it's good music, it's good music. I get that it's maybe like a genre that people aren't digging anymore.
Yeah.
Seriously, go listen to Meteora. It's Linkin Park. Early Linkin Park albums are really well crafted too. They kept like the same formula. They would have an intro, and it would be their DJ kind of doing his intro, and it wouldn't have like any lyrics, and it would be short. It would literally be like 15 seconds, and then it would intro transition at the end. It would transition right into the first song. There was no like cut
Yes.
and track, and it would transition, and then they would do that every few songs. It would just transition right into the next track, and you didn't hear like an audible cut.
Right.
It was always so like Linkin Park
Interesting.
took
Because now
they took a lot of time, like really
Yeah.
like, and I haven't listened to like a lot of their modern stuff.
Sure.
I listened to Hunting Party, which was like 2014, and I know they had an album after that before Chester passed away. And Hunting Party was very like, a lot of people were like wanting them to, because they went like, not EDM, but
I don't really know what to describe that, but I know what you're trying. It's like
yeah,
it's just that weird mix of
yeah.
we're not full on EDM, but we're
Right.
mixing some sounds
Which they
in there.
still had some decent songs. And then a lot of people were like, man, I just want them to be like old Linkin Park. And it's like, yeah, their albums didn't sell as well because they were doing old Linkin Park.
Right.
Right? Like Meteora sold exponentially less than Hybrid Theory because it was Linkin Park. So it's like, you can't expect an artist to like stick with something that wasn't doing well just
Right.
because they made some really good hits from those
Right.
albums.
Plus growth.
Yeah, and so Hunting Party was very rock forward. Still didn't sound like nu metal though. Nu metal was so distinct. So it's like, and it didn't age well. A lot of nu metal didn't age well.
Sure.
Linkin Park has some good songs, and so I think you can kind of like get away with it. But Meteora, it's a great album.
Oh, interesting.
Listen to it
Okay.
and just go through it.
Go through
through
it,
it.
Rocket. All right, we're gonna change. Oh man, this one's gonna be hard. I don't know which one to mention next, but I think the next one we're gonna do, is gonna have to be "Born Sinner" by J. Cole.
Mr. Cole.
He's a born sinner. This was like, I think this is like his first album
Yeah.
once he got signed.
With J. Cole, I don't listen to J. Cole a lot. I don't know why. He's an incredible artist.
You say it's kind of
He's
in the
very-
same lane of Kendrick Lamar.
No, he's very
and that-
his lyrical
yeah.
prowess is incredible.
Conscientious rap
Which
is
is
what people
well,
like to
what
call it, I guess.
what's kind of crazy is like J. Cole hits his hits while they're good. I don't know. They don't showcase
No.
what he does
Yeah.
really well.
You have to listen. This is
Yeah.
and this is an artist you actually have to listen to the album to
Yeah.
get the full experience about.
Yeah.
but
Because
yeah.
everyone mentions Cole. Like, I mean, every
Yeah.
rapper mentions Cole. They're like, yeah, Cole's
one of the best.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's one of the best. But yeah,
I feel that. Gaga Gaga by Spoon.
Oh, nice.
2007
okay, Spoon.
album from Spoon. I believe it was their third studio
Wow.
album at the time.
Busting out that
Yeah.
date.
Spoon has been around for a minute.
A minute.
I think it was 2007. It might have been 10. I think it was 7 though, because I think Transference was 10.
Your guess is as good as mine on that one.
Spoon's been around for a while.
Yeah.
They've been around since early 2000.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably a band you've heard songs and you don't realize.
Yeah.
Another one. Yeah.
Underdog is probably the most known song from that album. Here's the thing about that album.
Okay.
It's probably one of their most successful albums, if not the most successful album. And the thing about Spoon is every time they release an album, they, especially since then, they become like number one in like on the rock stations pretty
Mhm.
much, because it's fucking Spoon. If you haven't listened to Spoon before and you don't mind like rock music, and I don't mean like heavy rock music, I just mean like, I mean, they're very creative.
Mhm.
Very creative, and they're very down. They're from Austin, Texas, and they're very down to earth.
Shout
I
out.
mean, they genuinely just like they play small little bar circuits all the time, just
Cool, yeah.
because that's what they want to do. They're
I
very
respect
much
that.
in the way of like, we're gonna make what we want to make. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah,
and then they
as we will.
remastered that album in 2017,
Cool.
so you can actually listen to the
Oh,
listen to the
nice.
original, listen to the remastered, and it
Either
actually
one.
is a little different.
Okay.
And the remastered, I think they, just went back and kind of did a couple things that they were shooting for that maybe they just didn't have the budget to pull off, because again, at the time they weren't this huge band,
Right.
and they're still not like this major band. But I think especially in like the indie rock, alternative rock community, they're
up
top of the
there.
charts, man.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
Spoon's on the list, gotta go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go see a show for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. This next one is going to be. We're gonna go back again. This is like a very like college time in my life, but this is a twofer. So it's gonna be Take Care.
Right.
Nothing Was the Same. And we're gonna sprinkle in So Far Gone because those all kind of do.
Right.
That's just the era. We talk a lot of shit about Drake, but I love that Drake
Yeah.
era.
No, I'm
All of
I'm
them.
with that too. I
All
like that Drake.
That Take Care just puts me in my feels.
Oh yeah.
I have the Frank Ocean thing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
No, that's a
obviously.
great. I agree. Those are that time and that Drake world is good.
when he's still just he's like kind of famous but not famous. The trials and tribulations of
Yeah,
it's nice.
that's good. He wasn't in like every single thing, which I just think oversaturation is a thing. I think you can
For
kinda,
sure.
you can kind of put yourself in
Whatever
you
thing
can
is.
put you at least for me you can put yourself in my
Yeah.
ears too often.
No, right.
And again, man, I'd rather just hear some quality stuff
Absolutely.
and then something where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna collaborate on this thing that whatever. I'm just gonna throw my lyrics on it and call it a day.
Call it a day. What you got?
The Lumineers.
Hey.
The Lumineers. That's their title of their
go.
album. It's a self-titled. I love that
Solid.
album, man.
It's a great album, yeah.
Love that
It's a
album.
It's such a good
Yeah.
listen.
No, yeah, for sure. I
So-
go back to that one. It's got stories.
Mhm.
Folk music, by the way, is country. So
Yeah,
they are country
so
artists.
it is technically.
And yeah, man, they tell stories. There's a lot of relatable songs in
Yes.
that, and not to mention, everyone knows the Lumineers just has they have a style, and their style is very, I don't know, it's kind of old schoolish, and it really resonates. So it's good. Listen to the Lumineers, the self-titled album. It's incredible.
That's a great one.
And it's probably their biggest commercial success, even though
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
say
yeah.
Ophelia is really good. That's their second, and the
Oh,
third one I
yeah.
haven't listened to all the way yet, so
No.
we'll see.
But that first one is fantastic.
First one is
though.
great.
Speaking of, I guess we'll stick with the country. You know what's about to happen. This came out of nowhere for me because I'm not a huge fan of the country music that's coming out today.
Right,
Give me some George Strait, some Dolly, like Let's Ride. But
right.
so Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. It is I think it definitely is what falling in love is.
Oh.
And she takes you through this journey of like feeling those butterflies and like getting to know someone, but not in like a corny, cheesy way, but in
Right.
like a fun, like this is nice type way.
Right.
And then just very relatable. Like grandma cried when I pierced my nose. Like very relatable, small town.
Right,
You know,
right.
she's from Texas. See, okay, I like Texas because it has Austin and got me Casey Musgraves.
It's got Austin and that one person.
and that one person. I'm
no,
good.
they got a lot of people.
Yeah, I know, but just Casey Musgrave. No, Casey, I know you listen. No, but it's such a good album.
How
and
many?
then
How many famous people is that? Well, I think we're on
there's so
10.
many.
We'll
Yeah,
hit double digits.
As
All
we
those people are
should.
actually watching. So if you're not listening, and all those people are, you're fucking up.
fuck it up. And then of course she has High Horse on there, which is a fucking bop that I feel like most people can relate
Yeah.
to. And I had the ability to see her at Rue this summer.
Nice.
And her set was great. I mean, again, just everyone was jamming out.
Having a
It
good
was
time.
massive.
Having
Yeah,
a good time.
everyone was just having a good time. But it was fun. And again, it's just like I think it really just makes me feel good on the inside.
Well, that's great. That's a great feeling.
Yeah, just to just to
100%,
sum it up,
just
it just
to,
makes
like,
you feel
yeah.
good on the inside. Yeah, Golden Hour is also a great. There's
Yeah.
bops on there. Yeah.
Nirvana
Oh,
by Sam Smith.
oh,
That EP. I'm sure people are like, but Nirvana. Yes, Nirvana's a great band.
we're not
But
talking about that.
I'm
right
not gonna mention. I'm not talking about Nirvana.
now. We're not talking about. Yeah.
Listen, everyone knows Nirvana's a good band.
We're not talking about the obvious ones here.
Like,
There's a lot of classic albums that we could mention on this.
Yeah.
But
but the EP by
understood.
Sam Smith, Nirvana, it's really, really good. It's only 6 songs.
I just got chills thinking about it.
It's only 6 songs. It's really good though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of the great songs. So we had a development. The pod pup is in her shark costume,
You guys, there's no words for how cute this fucking looks right now.
so she's having a good time. But yeah,
Sorry,
Nirvana.
lost words, yeah. And Sam Smith. Yeah, our first introduction to
Yeah,
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Incredible. Going along that, American Teen by Khalid.
okay.
Really good. Again, top to bottom listen. And it takes me back to a time of like, because he was just getting out of high school, I think, when he was, or
Right.
like that. Takes you back to a good time. It's just a fun little listen to. Yeah.
Honorable mention, Free Spirit.
Yeah.
That whole album.
The whole
I love. It's
album. It's
new.
great.
It's new, but I already
It's
know.
also so good.
I already
Yes.
know that I'm gonna constantly go back to that
Yeah.
album
His
because I
voice is
already
incredible.
kind of have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I listened to it a lot when it came out,
Mhm.
and then I listened to it like the other day because I was like, man, I'm just in the mood for
just
the
in the mood.
album Free
Yeah.
Spirit. So
No, it's good. He's great. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what music we'll get from him.
I mean, Free Spirit
In the future.
there's a song on Free Spirit that's where he's talking about like, no one gives a fuck about him until they like need something, and it's just like it's
So
a
real.
really good song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, he's fucking
I relate to that.
yeah, it's good.
What you got?
Dreaming Out Loud by One Republic.
That's a great album also.
Yeah,
That's an album I had to go back and listen to when I got older,
yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
yeah. It's really good,
It's
and
really
it's
good.
crafted really well. Yeah, it has a lot of like the title of the songs are mentioned a lot throughout each song,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of like it's a little meta in that way, but it's kind of all thematically in that zone. So, Dreaming Out Loud's really good. It's One Republic's like first album.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it's such
Yeah,
a good
it's
album.
really
yeah.
good. It's a nice listen.
It's a good listen.
Easy car listen.
It is. Yeah. Easy to definitely throw on.
Also,
a road
let
trip.
me and
Yeah.
it's when Ryan Tedder they kind of just let his voice be a little raw in that album, and it's not that he can't sing, but it's that like he gets sharp in some songs, and I think not to like put it back on Imagine Dragons, they kind of talk.
Yeah. It's
They
the
were kind of
same.
talking in the first album where it's like he even mentions like when they listen to his older stuff, like he's like super off key and doesn't really know how to sing, and he's taken singing lessons since, one to help his throat because he's a huge musician who has to sing constantly. So
Right.
it's like you gotta have take care of your throat, and I think that's kind of what Ryan Tedder has done as well. But like it's good to hear like that raw.
I
mean,
agree.
he gets sharp and he gets a little nasally sometimes, and it doesn't always sound great, but
No.
it works.
You
and it
appreciate
just-
that raw, like you said, that rawness that it brings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice. That's why I like Dreaming Out Loud so much.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's bump it back to Lord's first album, Pure Heroin.
There you go.
She was, what, 16, 15 when she did the production on this? She did all of it
Right.
herself. Again, you know what I was doing when I was 15, 16? Not producing a award-winning album.
Well,
I'll tell you
know
that
what?
right now.
Some people just have an element.
Okay, Kendrick. No, but this again, so fucking good, top to bottom. You listen to it, and then you find out that she was essentially a child when she wrote all of it, and you're like, okay, well,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing with myself, but yeah,
Yep.
fucking fantastic. I love Lord.
My last one that I want to mention here,
Sure.
in a sea of albums.
Yeah.
I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful by the 1975.
Underrated band, in my opinion.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
That's their second album.
They
The
sing
Eyes?
chocolate, you guys. You know it.
They did sing Chocolate. Somebody else is their other, that was a big hit for them, and their newest hit, it's pretty good. It's also kind of a longer title, so I can't remember it right now. But that album, the second one, which I did listen to their first album. Their second one, I don't know what happened. Their first album almost feels like a collection of songs that maybe they had made and they were kind of running with, and then finally got put into an album, which is fine.
Sure.
Their second album is art.
It's cool. Yeah.
Like
It's so good.
it's art. I mean, they have 3 or 4 songs on there. There's no lyrics. It's just them musically
Yes.
putting things out, and it's amazing.
It's so cool. It's like you said, that you sense that passion behind it.
It's
yeah.
just amazing.
Mhm.
So I mean, listen to that.
Listen to that.
I mean, second one. I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful.
Yes. I like that.
It's very good, and they do have a song on there that's actually titled that, and it has no lyrics. It's just instrumental. So
I love that.
yeah,
I'm all
talk
for
about
instrumentals. Yeah.
title song, and it not even meant to be a hit.
That's when you know.
Savage.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah.
Savage.
I think, I don't know. We could, the last one, like, very quick honorable mention, The Weeknd's trilogy.
Oh.
So it's just that whole,
Oh.
it's that whole era, right? You guys know what I'm talking
Holy shit.
about.
So the trilogy was his first 3 non-studio albums,
Yeah.
put together, remastered, and released once
Finally.
he really like blew up. Fuck.
The raw emotion in
Yeah,
in those
that's
songs.
like 36 songs.
Yeah.
Just fucking put it on and relax, boys.
Relax.
Like
Like, you don't need to listen to
Jesus,
anything else
man.
for a while. Yeah.
so good. I
It's-
was obsessed with that
Yes,
that
how could you
collection
not?
in college. I remember
How
I
could you
would
not be?
just
Yeah.
endlessly, man, endlessly.
Bopping
Obsessed
around,
with it.
Walk around campus, fucking trilogy.
Yep,
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
endlessly just listening to that. I mean, it's so good, so good. God, yeah,
Do you have
incredible.
Do you have any others?
No, my last one was 1975.
All right. Yeah. I think we could.
I mean,
think
you could go. We can go forever, but I think The Weeknd's a great
Yeah.
stopping point.
I was gonna say, that
Yeah.
like
no,
you said, there's definitely albums we didn't mention, and maybe we can do like a part 2 of this.
we could
who
do a
knows?
part 2.
But
You could also keep the conversations going
I was about to
yourself.
say, yeah.
Keep it going yourself. You can add us if you really feel like it.
Yeah.
And keep the conversation rolling. You know, what's some of your albums that you constantly go back to, or you'll just kind of get the itch to go back to? You don't have to constantly listen to it. Like, I don't think I've listened to the trilogy in 6 or 7 months, but
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a minute.
it will happen.
It's about that time of year.
Guarantee
It's
you.
about that time of year to bust it out. Yeah.
It's gonna happen again. So, but yeah, keep the conversation going, and maybe we'll do a part 2. You want to hit the out
You hit the out.
next time on So You?